Hello, beautiful people. Today I am back with another analysis of the internet's most recent obsession, Wednesday. For whatever reason, this show has everyone and their mothers in an absolute chokehold. And I literally mean mothers. Like the amount of parents who have asked me if I'm watching this show. So naturally, I wanted to see what the big deal was. Just pretend you don't see this. It's not even here. Now you might be asking yourself why you should take my word for it. Well, first of all, I was single-handedly raised by teen drama shows, as I'm sure every person with a healthy childhood was. But also, I have a minor in film, which is a fun fact that not many people know about me. Tyler, in the show of Wednesday, he stole my line.
Listen, Wednesday, one
fun fact about me.
That bitch! Anyway, so I sat down and watched the whole show in one sitting, as one does normally, and I now have a conclusive answer to the question, is Wednesday even good? And this question can be answered in 3 parts. But first, I've gotta hop over into my interdimensional voiceover mode. Going into the show, I had absolutely zero knowledge of the story, and consequently zero expectations of what to expect. Needless to say, the choice to make Wednesday a detective in this overarching mystery was, in my opinion, a good one. It allows for a greater story to be told through this incredibly renowned character, and gives us reason to be resurrecting her, as opposed to just kind of following her around. With that being said, was the actual mystery of the show any good? I will say the mere premise of a magical town and a rampant beast is hard not to be somewhat gripped by. Hell, I have similar themes going on in the fantasy book I'm writing. Very exciting news, guys! I am writing a book, and it should be out in just about never. But the actual execution of these mysteries was a little underwhelming in my opinion. Maybe it was just me, but I had the big bads of the season guessed before the halfway mark.
The truth is, there are monsters everywhere.
In fact, one of them almost immediately.
Don't go alone. It's too dangerous.
staking out a cave?
We were given a handful of incredibly viable candidates. Oh look, an absurdly sweet and in-the-know teacher who loves her job as the only normie at the outcast school, who's so nice and whose personal business we never get a look into outside of Wednesday.
I still feel like an outsider. There's still a handful of teachers who will barely acknowledge me.
And of course the perfect nice guy, conventionally attractive and charming normie boy, who used to torment outcasts for fun, but conclusively stopped a year ago after being sent away by his outcast-hating father, who conveniently keeps the secret of his mother's death away from the audience. When the only eyes we're given in television are the cameras, and the camera decidedly gives us much more insight into the lives of the supposed prime suspects who it chases immediately, that's a huge tell. All of these side plots with amazing Detective Wednesday chasing down the wrong bad guys were structured perfectly timing-wise for a show like this. Obviously, with the wrong guys pinned down by halfway in the show and locked up with a quarter of the show left to go, it leaves the ideal window of time for a big twist to come. There was always the chance that the show was gonna Knives Out us, and I'm gonna be honest, I was kinda hoping they would. But come on, it's Netflix, and it's a teen show. And Netflix teen shows are incredibly formulaic in that sense. Of all of Wednesday's psychic visions, she only has the one of Tyler being the Hyde at the last second after kissing him and after locking up the wrong people, and despite having spent time with him during the entire show. But I'd be lying if I said the unfolding of events wasn't entertaining, and that holds plenty of value in television. Though, to contradict myself from 2 seconds ago, the final battle scene felt a little lazy after a whole season's build-up. Like, that's it. The buildup of the mystery definitely held my engagement a lot more than everything that came after the fact, which was just kind of chaotic and crammed in comparison. Speaking of formulaic Netflix plots, I didn't care for the love triangle thing going on, and apparently neither does Jenna Ortega.
Well, as far as the boys went, well, no, honestly, I'm gonna fight this love triangle thing so hard because it's just me being personally being protective, because I don't think Wednesday would ever be in a love triangle, and I talked to the writers about this.
Sure, it's standard to have one or multiple of these in teen dramas, but I was hopeful that a show like this, with a character as unromantic as Wednesday, would be the one to break the cycle. Wishful thinking, I guess.
I'm not friend material, let alone more than friend material. I will ignore you, stomp on your heart, and always put my needs and interests first.
As far as the school drama plots go, there's not much to say. It's fine. But on the flip side of some pretty cringy scenes were some pretty cool ones, too. One thing I actually think the show did quite well was its characters. For starters, the overall cast itself was a pretty strong one when it comes to looks and performances. Jenna in particular was just brilliant. My only real complaint in regards to her character's inconsistencies was how surprised everyone acted by her callousness and apathy when she very explicitly makes it clear that her priority is not caring about others' feelings, but cracking the case first and foremost.
I never asked you to do that.
You didn't have to, because that's what friends do.
I mean, do you even care about anyone or anything at all?
But then you pull something like this, and I have no idea where I stand.
She is consistently toxic, but many of the characters make it out to be some grand realization that her behavior isn't really cute or charming when it never was to begin with. And while everyone kind of just forgives her, their decisions to do so aren't because of a change in behavior from Wednesday. They just kind of do.
Can you believe it?
As far as supporting characters go, Gwendolyn Christie as Principal Weems, fantastic. Emma Myers as Enid, a serve. Musa Mustafa as Eugene, a slay. And I loved everything thing.
Is he like your pet?
Each of these characters had their own larger personal conflicts going on throughout the series, which made them feel more real than just side character-y, and in turn made me care more about them. And a show with fabricated characters that you can't connect with is almost never going to be good. A criticism I'd have here is that Morticia and Gomez were not nearly as unique or charming as their predecessors. And don't blame me for this, but I just don't think they had good chemistry. Normally this wouldn't be a big deal, except that that's kind of Morticia and Gomez's whole thing.
I couldn't stop staring at you all through the eulogy.
And also, a huge trait of the original family was how strong their emotional relationship was. I think that was a bit lost in this series, what with having a main conflict in the story coming from her family and the interpersonal lies and drama that her parents caused. They very easily just could have told her the truth from the start. Sure, she's a teenager, and it's angsty now, as it always is in teen dramas, but honestly, it felt like a wasted opportunity not to showcase a healthy family dynamic for a change, especially in an Addams Family-centric show.
The children are going to be very happy here.
If we wanted them to be happy, we'd have let them stay home. That settles it. No more school.
That's all right for our children, but what about all the others?
But I digress. Finally, I felt it was worth doing a 60-second sweep of all the other crap. Ready? Go. I want to throw in some points for the series' excellent theme music, which can be attributed to Danny Elfman, who composed for such films as Alice in Wonderland, Spider-Man, and The Nightmare Before Christmas. I found the Nevermore outfits a little tacky, but that's just me personally, and every other costume was spot on. The set design was pretty cool with the focus on the dark academia thing. I think it's a little bit milked right now, but for the sake of Wednesday's aesthetic, it worked really well. The hides design was good, very Tim Burton-esque, but the CGI was a little bit questionable. I love Ortega's iconic prom dance, the integration of her cello playing, and numerous directorial decisions that we can thank for shots like this.
Oh my prom. That's going with
Survival.
All in all, the show managed to find ways to make itself unique and fun despite its teen drama genre, and save for the occasional attempted Gen Z reference,
You should really get on Insta, Snapchat, and TikTok.
it wasn't trying too hard. So with an 11.5 out of 15 score, i.e. a 77%, I can give you my final answer to the question, is Wednesday even good? And what I'd say is, yeah, good enough. Sure, it's not the most stellar project to have come out this year, but it's fun and witty, albeit a bit overhyped. And I think what makes a show like this so overhyped is the fact that above all, it's easy to consume. The show doesn't require much thinking or self-reflection, but I think it'd be wrong to say that only the good shows do. I don't love how formulaic it is, but I think that within the teen drama formula it sticks to, it still manages to be more original and exemplify important themes of friendship, identity, and family in a way that most other teen dramas aren't doing. So there it is. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please, please, please give me a thumbs up if you did. It really helps me in this stupid algorithm. But if you actually want to see when I post, then hit the notification bell, because this platform is broken and you probably won't get notified otherwise. Thank you for watching. I love you. I appreciate you. Bye.